Good afternoon. Peter Godwin earlier said he's a white man from Zimbabwe. Just to put things straight, I'm a black man from Zimbabwe. And we could possibly look alike apart from our hairstyles, of course. I will quickly go through the background of my exhibition. My exhibition, Sibatontisele, opened on the 25th of March 2010, which profiled the massacre of the Ndebele people by the government-sponsored 5th Brigade from 1983 until the signing of the Unity Accord. The massacre, known as Guguraundi, translated from Shona, which is the majority language spoken in Zimbabwe, means the rain that washes away the chaff or dirt, which was an attempt to control the dissidents in Matabeleland. More than 20,000 for up to about 40,000 people were killed in Matabeleland and the Midlands, mostly the supporters of Joshua Nkomo's party, ZAPU. President Mugabe called the event the moment of madness. Sibatontisele, translated from Ndebele, which is the minority language in Zimbabwe, which is my language, means we drip on them, and refers to one torture method which was used by the 5th Brigade of dripping hot plastics on their victims. My exhibition took place against the backdrop of the global political agreement, the GPA, signed between the leading party, ZANU-PF, and the two opposition parties, MDC-T and MDC, that was in 2009. The GPA, through the organ of national healing, had to address political violence and serious economic crisis in Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, Guguraundi atrocities were not included in that, which showed the government's lack of commitment to resolve sensitive issues that will create space for peace and democracy. I was arrested on the 26th of March 2010 and detained for 5 nights or 6 days. Initially, I faced two charges: that my artwork undermined the authority or insulted the president. Secondly, that the artwork had inscriptions with words, as inscriptions or insulting or provocative to cause offense to persons of a particular race, tribe, color, religion, etc., etc. Each carried a maximum sentence of 12 months. In September 2010, the prosecution dropped my first charge and placed a more serious one, which is publicizing, communicating false statements with the intention of inciting violence, which carries a sentence of 20 years. The director of the National Gallery in Bulawayo was also arrested and faced charges under the Censorship Act. The charges, of course, were later dropped because the case heavily relied on my outcome. With the great help from Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, my case was referred to the Constitutional Court, challenging the violation of my rights on freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, and freedom of expression. And 3 years down the line, I'm still waiting for the Supreme Court ruling. It was for the first time since 1987, since the signing of the Unity Accord, that the scary word, the taboo word, Guguraundi, was printed on local newspapers, and people started talking about it. My exhibition made government realize the power of art, which led to the amendment of the Censorship Act, which meant artists' work has to go through the censorship board before being exhibited anywhere in the country. And in the Gazette, the notice released in Harare read, "The exhibition at the Bulawayo Art Gallery of effigies, paintings, and words written on the walls portraying the Guguraundi era as a tribally biased event and as such is prohibited." Within less than 48 hours, the exhibition was banned from the public view. It's still under the lock and key, which is now more than 3 years held as evidence against me. In June 2010, Genocide Watch, a United States-based human rights group, declared Kukuraundi a genocide. And that was the signing of the Unity Accord. And this painting is called Ongwane Ezibomvu. Ongwane Ezibomvu is my local language, meaning the red berets. So the 5th Brigade used to wear all these red berets. So it's one of those memories that us as Ndebele people from Matebele remember so well. And this is one of the installations that I did that actually depicted the way people were tortured. As you can see from the background, there are newspapers. These newspapers have been put for the past 3 years to make sure that people who pass outside the gallery won't see what's inside. This one is called Babylon Songs. It's in English. And Babylon Songs is a very sad painting because most people in the rural areas were really greatly affected. They were made to sing these songs, and they had to sing these songs in the opposition or the leading party language, which is Shona, and most of them didn't even know how to speak Shona at all. Lizabuswa Zinyoni, this actually means it will be ruled by the birds. Inyembezi Zabogogo, it's a very sad painting, especially women were greatly affected during that time. Inyembezi Zabogogo, it actually means tears of our grandmothers, who had to look after the children after everyone was massacred, after people were shot, after people were, everything bad was done to them. So Inyembezi Zabogogo is a true reflection of what affected women. Lots of women were raped, lots of children were born during that time, and even up to now, some are still struggling to get birth certificates because they don't know who their father is, which is very sad. Liyasigika-gika. Asoze lisiqede. Lots of clicks there. This painting it actually means that no matter how much, no matter how hard the government tries to harass us, tries to push us around, tries everything in their books, they will never finish us. We will always be there. We will survive. I'm one of the survivors. My parents were affected. They survived. I also survived. I was young then. You will never, ever finish us. Saphele sikaMthwakazi. This is also a very sad painting that actually shows the sadness that fell into the community, the dark cloud. As you can see, all the faces have given up and they don't really know what to do. Saphela sikaMthwakazi is actually Mthwakazi is Matebele land. These are some of the inscriptions that actually are on the wall of the gallery. So one of the reasons why my exhibition is still at the gallery today is because I did 12 paintings and 3 installations and then painted the wall of the gallery. So there was no way they could remove paintings and leave so the government was actually forced to keep the exhibition as it is, but of course it's accumulating dust for 3 years now. And some of the inscriptions, these were from the extract from newspapers between probably 1983 and 1987. Some of them read like, "We eradicate them. We don't differentiate when we fight because we can't tell who is a dissident and who is not." And some of the inscriptions went like, "The idea was not only to leave bodies, but to leave pieces of bodies as a warning to others, dissidents or ordinary civilians." And this is also one of the pillars inside the gallery where the inscription is quite clear, and it's written in English. Some of the things that were also written as well is that in our country, perpetrators of violence are still in powerful positions and survivors remain silenced and afraid. The overwhelming residues of an unprocessed pain, anger, suspicion, and grief remain in the community as a negative, silent weight, a dark, even humiliating secret that undermines shared community activities, causing finger pointing and divisions. This one also is called Baleka. Baleka means runaway. And this one is called election results. As you can see, it's a figure trying to grab the ballot box from people. And this is also an installation about which is called the ballot box, as you can see, but all the ballot papers are being flushed away. Well, to conclude, art also needs to break boundaries. People should be moved by art. Art should respond to issues and create new stories, new imaginings, new possibilities. When I first decided to produce an exhibition about Kukuround, I did not imagine myself as a human rights activist, but simply as an artist. But however, as the space closes on civic society, political parties, and the arts, I realized that human rights and art in Zimbabwe are closely linked. And for as long as it is necessary, art is an expression of my human rights, and art must demand human rights. Thank you so much.